All right, welcome back to another Tools for Motivation training session. I am the co-host, Justin Popovich from Tools for Motivation, and my main host, wait, hang on, there.
Oh, goodness. It's so weird when you don't know where it is. But yes, I'm Marie Mack. It's so good to see everybody here. Thank you for spending some time with us. We have an amazing new presenter for you. Remember that our recordings are going to be up. So take a look at the YouTube channel because we have been doing these since the beginning of the year. There's a lot of amazing content there. And it just sort of builds on as you're building out your business. So take a look there. Justin, you ready to introduce, or I can introduce then?
Well, I'll just quickly mention for those of you probably saw it on the invite, but Zivko Dodowski is actually kind of local to me. We're only about an hour apart, although we've never met in person. The biggest news about Zivko is he keeps the Tools for Motivation site up and running and safe and protected and running quickly and smoothly, which was by far the hugest thorn in my business partner, Ted, and myself's side. We had some huge issues in our early days of building a business, getting hacked, sites going down, launches happening, then not happening. And we went through a whole bunch of different people that did their best, but just never really got the site to where it needed to be until we found Zivko. And he's done a fantastic job of keeping our website highly efficient, highly secure. We have meetings all the time. He kind of keeps us in line on the tech side of things. And he's been doing that kind of stuff for a very long time in his agency. So Marie, I'm going to let you kind of do the rest here, and then Zivko, we're going to get you going.
Yeah, awesome. Super glad to have you on the team for sure. So Zivko runs an agency supporting online business owners, just like yourself, and focuses on helping those clients with prospecting and client acquisitions. So be sure to listen in as we're going to tap into some of the powers of LinkedIn. Zivko, I'm going to pass it over to you, my friend. You're welcome to share screen, and we're excited to learn.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for those kind words, Justin. Yeah, the website was, it was a fun thing that we started. And in the beginning, I was like, wow, there's a lot of things that we need to iron out. And luckily, it's been, I think, year and a half now. Everything is, where it should be. But today, we'll talk about, where's my share screen? There we go, share screen. So today, what I want to talk to you guys about is unlocking the power of LinkedIn to reach your ideal customers and book calls with your ideal customers every month on a consistent basis. So this is what I also do with my agency, Dunmaker. We've been doing this for around 2-3 years now, but me doing this on my own, I've been doing it for around 10 years. These are all the same principles that I've been using for prospecting and for client acquisition, that I've been able to package them, offer them to my clients. And today, exclusively just for you guys, I'm going to show you exactly what I do for my clients, exact systems and methods that you can apply today at the end of this call, and you can start generating leads from LinkedIn for your business. So today we're going to cover specifically these 3 things. So first one, it will be how to create a highly converting target list in Sales Navigator. So for this, you need to have LinkedIn Sales Navigator, because that allows you to filter things, that allows you to view a lot more, as opposed to the free LinkedIn or the premium LinkedIn. The number 2, it will be the 4-message sequence that moves prospects to book the call. And that's the number 1 goal when you're sending these messages, is to book the call, not to do a warm intro on who you are and what you do and try to build a rapport. It's very difficult to build a rapport in cold outreach because no one knows each other. So the number 1 goal here is to move them to book the call. And that's when rapport starts happening and building relationships. And number 3, it will be the light and a very easy to use system to do the follow-ups and to actually track your prospecting and everything that you do on LinkedIn. And I'll try to be a little bit more interactive here. So what I will try to do is I'll talk and then I'll switch to actually show you in LinkedIn Sales Navigator, show you the messages and show you all these things. So it's not just sit, watch, and kind of absorb. Like I said, by the end of this, you should be able to implement a LinkedIn lead generation system for your business today. It's not extremely difficult. It can be done. It's very simple to do, actually. I'll give you the tool that you need to have all this running and that no leads slips through the cracks. That's something that can happen if you don't have a system to track everything, to make sure everything is measured and everything like that. And potentially, you will be able to open a new revenue stream for your business today. First one that I want to cover is probably the most important one, which is LinkedIn Sales Navigator target list. So couple of things here. Before we switch to Sales Navigator, I want to talk about what Sales Navigator is. Sales Navigator transforms LinkedIn into a massive database. It is probably the most accurate database that you've seen. I've tried ZoomInfo, PitchBook, Crunchbase, Sales Axial before it was something else. Those databases are scraped from everywhere and probably stomped many times by people that use bad marketing sales practices. Sales Navigator, it is a database when you have this unlocked, because it allows you to go through everybody that is on Sales Navigator, and you can see all the things that are important for you to make the right decision. Who is the right target? Who should I connect with? Because that's the goal. The goal is to find the right person that you want to connect with. So in a nutshell, that is what Sales Navigator is. It basically transforms LinkedIn into the most accurate database that I've ever seen so far. In it, we will use a couple of features. So core filters that I use all the time to filter and narrow down who I want to target is their job title. Second degree connection, meaning friends of friends, not direct my first network connection, because that's pointless. Company headcount, that's the best way to find how big the company is when you're looking at revenues and stuff like that. Geography, very, very normal. Posted on LinkedIn in the last 30 days, I should say 30 days. It's one of the things that is allowed in Sales Navigator to know who is active. So when you are prospecting and when you're reaching out to people, you're going to reach out to active profiles only. And it's beautiful to have this just one click, turn it on, and you know you're going to reach out to active profiles, not profiles that are sitting and doing nothing.
Can I ask a quick question here, Zivko?
Go ahead.
Kind of something popping up in my mind. So Sales Navigator, I have a LinkedIn account. Am I able to just access Sales Navigator like you're talking about it today, or are you talking about the paid options that are there?
It is a paid option. If you've never used it, they do have a 2 months free intro that will give you 2 months for free if you've never tried it before. So everybody can definitely give it a shot.
That sounds good. I'm just trying to think of like adding this in on my business side too, and just thinking about what you're talking about and the access that we'll have there.
Yes. You're absolutely right. They do have the offer to give you 2 months for free. If you've never used it in the past, they want to get more people to use it. And I think if you have LinkedIn Premium, they will say upgrade for free for a month. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they give that option as well.
Okay, awesome.
But yes. So number 3 that I like to use when it comes to Sales Navigator is Boolean searches or if statements. And that enables you to narrow down things dramatically. So for example, if you are in a specific industry, so let's say you are fintech. Well, fintech doesn't exist as an industry, or SaaS doesn't exist as an industry in Sales Navigator or in other places. So those are the Boolean searches that you can start narrowing down. Or for example, I have one client that wanted to target people that are college advisors. Independent college advisors do not work for colleges. So you can see here how a Boolean search can definitely help you narrow it down. So for more advanced stuff, and if you really want to get specific, Boolean searches, and I'll show you how we do those. And the last one is the range. Usually people will see a massive list like, oh, this is amazing, this is beautiful. You should target somewhere between 300 and 1,500, because Sales Navigator, another thing that is really good about it is, as you're connecting with people, that network starts to be your second degree connection network. And if it falls under the filters that you select in Sales Navigator, your list keeps growing. It doesn't deplete. So in 1 month, if I have a list of 300 people on a Sales Navigator search, that doesn't mean I will be at 0 at the end of the month. Because as you're connecting with people, their network becomes your second degree connection network. And if their contacts fall under your filters, your list keeps growing. So LinkedIn Sales Navigator keeps replenishing. That's a lot of talking. Now let's see LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So in a very simple way, I created this search. And to do this is very simple. So once you get Sales Navigator, this is the home of Sales Navigator. I have my saved searches, TFM training. I created this one, empty, simple one for today. And this is the way that it works. Let me just move some of these navigations from Zoom. There we go. So like I said, first up, we start with second degree connection. So friends of friends. Second will be Ontario, Canada. Let's say geography, we're just narrowing it down slightly. Company size, we might go with something like that. And that's, you have options there like kind of set in ranges. So you can't just set like 1 to 5. They're giving you ranges. Something important about company headcount. If someone has 1 to 10 employee headcount on LinkedIn doesn't mean they really have 1 to 10 employees in real life. Most of the time, it's more. So most of the times, if you have 1 employee on LinkedIn, in real life, you probably have 3, 4, 5 people. They're just not on LinkedIn or not actively using LinkedIn. So everything that you're seeing here, keep those things in mind. I've done that many times when someone will say, well, I don't want to talk to people that are self-employed. The person might say self-employed on LinkedIn, but they probably have 2, 3 VAs. Maybe they have 1 contractor in another state, so they're not really self-employed. So always take those things in consideration when you're adjusting your filters. If you say I want to talk to companies that are 10 to 50, then of course we're like, okay, someone that is self-employed might fall under that category, but I should stay on the safe side and go with, let's say, 1 to 10, because definitely they'll have more people in real life. Second degree connections are, like I said, friends of friends. You can go third degree, which is friends of friends of friends, but that is just, you're reducing your chances of connection because there is less connection between you and those people. So for example, here I can just have 15 shared connections with that person, 15 to 33. The higher you have shared connections, the higher chances of connecting. Job titles, these are the typical ones that are for decision makers. Here's another important things to keep in mind. CEO and CO, you see it spelled in the short version. You always do those things because Sales Navigator will not give you that option. So for example, if I go here and if I type in CFO, you will see it will give me Chief Financial Officer, but it will not give me CFO. So if I want to include people with that job title, I will do the short one and I will do the long version as well. And again, these are the typical decision-making owner, co-founder, founder, owner. Those are kind of the job titles. Sometimes you can include VP, depending on how low you want to go with the decision-making job titles in who you want to target with. That's option number 1. Option number 2, you use job titles if you are targeting someone with a specific job title. So an easy one is property manager. So property managers are usually in real estate, and not everywhere else you will see a property manager. So if I type that job title, and if I'm targeting that job industry for a specific offer that I have, great. A bad example would be if you put in their engineer. So engineer can be a software engineer, it can be architectural, it can be bridge. There's so many versions, so therefore you have to put the actual specific one. But if you're targeting a specific job title, that is amazing. Just start with this and then start narrowing down with the other filters. Things that I used to do in the past when it comes to the filters that I don't use anymore, it was seniority level. So this is a very high level, like a catch-all. You can see it says, do you want which level? Owner, C-level, senior, VP. It's very broad. Current job title is way better and more narrow, and that's the goal with building a target list, to be narrow. Something like this, I used it in the past. It's just very broad. I would not recommend that anymore going forward. These are new things that they're including. I would just skip over those easily. This is what I said about posted on LinkedIn in the last 30 days. This filter is very important. They have several other ones that are cool, but this is the one that is most important. So what I usually do is right here at the top, it says I have 16K plus results. If I turn that filter off, usually that number goes like 2x or 3x, so 53,000. So you can see how many people are actually not super active on LinkedIn. Therefore, you're sending messages, they're going nowhere. Results are not there. You're wondering why. Having that filter on, it will help you a lot. Here on the right side, I have people you've interacted with. Always exclude everyone that you viewed the profile or message, because therefore you will never duplicate or send a message to someone that is already a contact. And all your saved leads, exclude that, because whoever you connect with basically becomes a lead in their in Sales Navigator terms. So these 3, I always have them just off. That way you're making sure that you're never going to send the same message to the same person twice. If we're going to use the Boolean searches, this is what I was saying. In the search keywords, here is what we use Boolean searches. Now, instead of me randomly typing in here, Marie, Justin, can you give me an example of an industry that is slightly more niche that you want me to try to target?
You try life coaching.
That's a good one. And it's a good one because when you do Boolean search, you do it like this. Life coach is one version, but someone might say, like Justin said, life coaching. So that is a Boolean search, or would mean that or that, and will be that and that. You can also go with not. So if you want to exclude life coaching, so for example, you're targeting someone specific and you like going through the list, you find a lot of people in that criteria, then you start turning that off. So now you can see that we can find 232 people that fall within that category. Now, the first thing that I would do with something like this is try to find how many of them are actually job title CEO, founder, co-founder, owner, or if their actual job title is personality coach, certified life coach. That's what you want to see when you're creating this list. Maybe the job title here, it gave me 232 only because the job titles are not matching, or because my company headcount, maybe I'll start including more and more, and that's how I started to build the list. Like I said, something around 300 and up is a great way to start, because next thing that I would do with this, you're basically scrolling down to make sure that no filter overpowers another one and creates, let's say, an error or something that shouldn't be on the list. So I would go through this, and I'm looking at certified life coach, business coach. This all looks good. This all looks good. I'm just making sure that everybody here falls under the categories that I've selected. Skip, go to page number 6 to see how deep it goes, to make sure that as we keep going, that everything is still AC career and financial services. You can see things start kind of wandering off, not being 100% where you want them to be. Paradise movement might be there. That's all right. International image. This is what I mean. You can start seeing that as you scroll to like list 7, 8, 9, Sales Navigator might start finding people that are not really your criteria. Therefore, just basically skip over them and do not send them the message. Do not contact them, because LinkedIn still finds for some reason to put them in your list. Just basically skip over them, and that can definitely happen. Award winning, there we go. That's pretty good. Certified LinkedIn, that's good. So you can still see that, okay, even on list 6, I'm still doing good. Skip to number 9, and again, you're trying to do a spot check. Could be coach, good. Flow coaching, that's fine. Life, okay, that's fine. Consulting, that's all right. Holistic, okay, might be. So I can still see that this list that I've just created, 85% is good. I can definitely start reaching out to all these people. Once you have your list done like this, what you do is save search. So you can go save search, and we can call it life coach. What I usually do is I type in life coach, then the geography that I selected, which is Ontario. And then I would say today's date, which is April 6th, and I would put my initials to know that I'm the one that I created. So if someone, like if you have a VA helping you or something like that, and if they do it, they should put their initials, so you know if something's wrong with the list, or if it's working really good, that's the list that we go. I would hit save, and then when you go to your save searches, you can see all of them are there. This is the one that we created. Everything is saved as we left it. All right. I'm going to go now to the next section, and at the end of the presentations, if you guys have any more questions about these things, feel free to let me know. I'm going to leave the Sales Navigator search open on the side. I'm not going to close it. All right. Once you have that list ready, the next step, it will be the messages. So key important things about organic outreach messages, cold outreach messages. They're very different from your sales or interaction with clients because it's cold outreach. So the first thing to have to keep in mind is the value proposition moves the prospect to book the call. If the value proposition, if the offer is very good, the prospect does not know who you are. They will say, okay, sounds good. Let me take the call. Clear, is not defined, is not what they want. It doesn't resonate with them in any shape or form. They just skip over the message. They might not reply at all. They might just say no, thank you. But if you have a clear, well-defined value proposition and offer, that is what people will be like, okay, sounds good. Let me take the call, find out more. You want to give your prospects one option, one path, one call to action. I've seen it in the past when people say you can do this or this, or we can jump on a call or do that, and we can do. You're giving too many choices on a cold outreach. I always say that all the time. Cold outreach, giving someone too many options will not make them come to a decision in a fast way. They would you're just bringing friction. So the best thing to do, one option, one path, one call to action, and I'll show you in the messages how that looks. And you always want to combine curiosity and credibility in your entire sequence. If you give out everything, there's no reason for someone to jump on a call. If you don't give too much, then person is like, what is she talking about? So you always want to combine curiosity and credibility throughout the sequence. Don't feel the need that you need to put all in one message. So here is how I do it for my clients. Let me do a quick zoom here. I think 125 is good. Yeah. There we go. How does that look like, guys? Is it good?
Yeah, that's good here.
Perfect. So what I have, this is the exact template that I give to my clients. First one is an example, and then on page 2 is where they go and start filling in, and we do that on the onboarding call together. So let's go one by one. So connection message, or CM, is the first one, and we include connection messages because it gives like a clear explanation of who you are and what you do and why you're connecting, as opposed to sending a connection message that just says open to connect or something like that. It's very vague if you follow it up with a sales pitch. So our connection message, you always want to say of who you are, what do you do. Ontario, and you're from Ontario, that will be like, oh, okay, they're from here. That kind of eases the tension, and they're open more to connecting. Then you explain clearly what you do, and then we always go with something similar to this. So we have some mutual contacts. I'm looking to expand my network. There's different versions of this. Not the end of be all. The first part is what is important. So founder of a Vancouver-based accounting firm with 5+ years of experience and some awesome connections. So that's a nice, fully rounded connection message. Keep in mind, your connection message has to be below 300 characters. That's the limit that LinkedIn has. 300 characters is the limit. And always keep in mind that the first name can vary. We wait 1 day, and then message number 1 goes out, where we communicate a clear value proposition. So James is CEO at Accounting Group. Just hit the name of the person, but everything else is real that I'm using in my agency. A profit-focused accounting firm specializing in small business accounting. So you can see when the prospect reads, and if they are a small business and they need someone to help them with their profit and they need an accountant, that is James. That is a very well-defined kind of approach in your first message, in your opening liner, and the person then will continue to read. So his offer that he tailors the books to provide meaningful insight for the business, ensuring data, stuff like that. It also goes with one pain point. You can definitely messages where you include that you see in your industry that you resolve. Availability next week. So there is no other option for the person. There is no, I do accounting, but I also do bookkeeping, and I can also do this, and I can just one option. This is what I do. You want to have a call when you're free next week. There's one option, one path. It works really well. Message number 2 is where, and I'm segmenting the way that I am, because these are, again, messages that go on LinkedIn. On a Google Sheet, they look really nice, but on LinkedIn, they have to be as short as possible. So message number 2, we go with credibility, where he says, you know, again, based in Vancouver, and 2-3 companies that you've helped with that are local that people might know. So you are trying to establish credibility. Some curiosity. Number 2, you go with a little bit of credibility. And number 3 is what we always say, leave the door open, where you want to see when you can set up a brief call so we could see how we can help your financial goals. Something to keep in mind is that you see that we don't say just following up or pinging you back or breaking this up to the top of your inbox. Those sentences have been used many times, and they create sales resistance. So the client, the prospect, knows they feel that they're being sold something when they hear those sentences. Therefore, in all of my messages going forward, I've tried to limit it as much as I can to not use just follow up or following up or something like that, because I know it creates sales resistance. And the goal here is to just, you know, if there's interest, let's start a conversation. And all of this will be given to you. I know Justin and Marie will include this. Basically, you can just hit file, download, and then in section number 2, you have a real life example. And section number 2 is where you go in and you would put in all of your stuff. So you would put your job title, you would put who you're, what you do, your service, explain one pain point. And again, this is more like a structure. You don't have to go and follow it to the T, but following that structure of curiosity, credibility, one path, one option, giving people, yeah, with the one path, one option, keeping it as short as possible, value proposition very clear, following those things and fitting them somewhere in here, you'll be very, very good with your messages. Most people either the connection message is kind of iffy, or when they go into message number one, they start asking the client the prospect a lot of stuff that they're just not going to give you anything. They don't know who you are. You can't ask for a lot of stuff. And these are the usual mistakes that I've seen in the past where conversations start falling off. So you just don't have any booking calls happening. Following these simple tips that I gave you, you should do pretty good. All right, so now we have the list. We have our messages ready. This is literally what I do on onboarding calls. And then now we go to our tracking up system. Tracking and following system. And I'll give you a couple of things to keep in mind when you're thinking, am I doing good? Am I doing bad? Is this campaign performing well, or is it performing bad? And what are the usual KPIs that I keep in track for my clients? So what gets measured gets done. We've heard that many times. You have to, everything that you want to know, measure it. So what I'll give you, if you want to expand on that, by all means, connection messages per day, or CM. Start with 20 connection messages per day. If your profile has never been active, start with 20 connection messages. And that's the best results you can get is if you actually do it manually. So if you send the messages manually, if you build the list the way that I build it, and track everything the way that I'm tracking, you have the highest chances of keeping your account healthy and making sure that nothing happens, because LinkedIn doesn't like a lot of automations. So let's just put it that way. So start with 20 connection messages, and with the span of 3 months, you can increase it to 40 connection messages, and that's the max that I would recommend you to do per day. A good connection rate is 30%, and you can achieve that doing it manually with any automation tool that I've tried in the past. Automation tools average 22, 28, kind of maximum that I've pushed it. So definitely using this, you can get average 30% connection rate. And what is a connection rate? You basically take your DM ones and you would divide them by your connection message. So you basically see how many people out of total connection messages that I've sent have actually received message one or connected with me. So that's your connection rate. So you want to make sure you have a 30% connection rate. You want to start with 20 connection messages per day. And you want to track the whole process in something very simple like this. So this is exactly what I have. This is exactly what I do for tracking everything. So you have the name of your the prospect, their LinkedIn campaign. If you have a if you're running 2 or 3 different scripts or 2 or 3 different targets and you're testing things out, you might have multiple campaigns. I would suggest start with one general list of your ideal prospects and start with that. And then if you're sending it, then just you're basically ticking off. I've sent a connection message and set the date. Tick off. If you've sent the connection message and they have accepted it, then you go through the whole DM sequence, DM 1, 2, and 3. And at any point, if they, for example, the prospect says, these are the usual ones that I have, and they're kind of like the catch-all, if they're interested, if there's any level of interest, if you're saying, let's have a call next week, and they're saying, well, next week's not good, how about 2 weeks from now? That's still interested. I'll put it in that kind of category. More information, if they're not 100% sure, and they might ask you, like, well, talk to me specifically about this. Have you done something like this? That's more information. I mark it as that. It's still a very good level of interest, by the way. Not right now, very clearly. Anything 3 months from now, I put it as not right now. If someone says not right now, talk to me in 3 weeks, still interested, or 1 month, I'll put it interested. But anything past like next quarter, not right now. Number 4 is not interested. Number 5 is unfriended. So if you try to send a message and it doesn't go, or you're not friends anymore, they're unfriended, you take that out. And number 6 is withdrawn. So this process is, at the beginning, you will not have a problem with it. But after 6 months, what you should definitely start doing is all the messages that you've sent, connection messages, that no one accepted, you should go back and withdraw them. It's a very simple, like you literally click on the link, and then where it said connect now, it says withdraw, and you withdraw. Start with like 20 withdrawals per day, because imagine a LinkedIn profile with thousands of connection requests, no one accepting them. It's not going to look good for the LinkedIn algorithm. So you want to always fly under the radar. So withdraw is something that I do on all of my accounts, and we have like a 2 weeks policy. So after 2 weeks, we start going back and start removing them. But if you're starting with a very low number and you're kind of testing things out, after a month or two, start going back through this list and be like, okay, these are all the people that I've sent a connection message, they did not accept it, let me withdraw them, and then just mark action as withdrawn. And that's why you will have a very healthy and kind of you keep your account safe. Date of action. And then the last 2 are usually the options that I give to my clients, and that's where the clients will go lead stage. They will say they haven't booked a call yet, or yeah, booked call already, pitch the services, follow up after that, negotiating in progress, very vague. I always put both, depending on how people feel at which stage the prospect might be. No show on intro call, not interest after call, closed won. You can also put closed lost. And you can make your notes as well. So you can definitely take this, you can apply it yourself, or if you have a VA helping you, you can be like, okay, this is what we're going to do now, put everything here, and we track it. Now, the good thing about Google Sheets, you can connect it to any CRM, so it will not mess up with your data. And what I would highly encourage you to do is, once a person hits a specific lead action or a lead stage, then trigger, let's say Zapier or something, then add that into your CRM. But before that, do not add it to your CRM, because these are cold outreach. We need to get action and interest. Once there's that, then you can definitely put them into your CRM. And because it's Google Sheets, it's simple to do, connects with all CRMs. I've not had a problem with any of them so far. I know that's a lot of information for you guys, but that's the end of my presentation. Now, if you have any questions, I'm all ears.
Yeah, there's a couple of questions. Zivko, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I was having a lot of internet issues there while you were presenting, so I kept dropping off, so I missed some of it. But I don't think this would have been covered. The one question I wanted to ask, because you were going through the whole process of kind of getting clients and your system there, which I think is awesome, it's brilliant. A lot of our subscribers and customers are also just trying to do more traditional list building, where they aren't necessarily doing a one-to-one model, be more one-to-many, building, let's say, for example, a freebie list, trying to get those people to buy a digital product and then move them onto a buyer's list. I think a lot of this could still work for deal making instead of just like trying to do client acquisition. But do you want to comment on that at all, or do you want to just kind of leave it at that it would still work for that? Do you have anything you want to kind of add to that, or?
So I had one client from California, Brian Robert, yes, and he wanted a similar model where he said, look, I want people to come to webinar. I don't want to go one by one. So the idea there was we set up everything with Zoom webinars, and then he would connect with people that are C-level professionals. That was his sweet spot. And he would say, look, there is a webinar on this specific date, and I think you'll be a great fit for you. And that was the call to action. And there was actually a landing page, and that was his kind of funnel. Nice. Some of them would say, I'm busy on that day. Great. Well, I can do one-on-one, or I can send you the recording. He still would take those. You would not consider them as a no until the person opts to let no, I'm not really interested. And it did work. He signed 2-3 clients on the first webinar. And again, I forgot the name of I forgot the value of the contracts, but he said it was up like in the tens or 15,000s, because he's working with a C-suite level, connecting with the whole company and stuff like that. So the model was do this outreach, but not one-on-one, take them to a webinar on a specific date. If someone says, I can't make the date, no problem. If you want, I can actually do a one-on-one with you, or I can send you the recording once it's done with your permission, once your email. And that's how he did it.
Yeah, very cool. What sort of is coming into my brain as you were going through this? If I was newer to, let's say, digital product selling, again, I think the client work, you covered that well. So I'm just going to kind of flip the conversation to this. Maybe even if you want to just stop sharing for a minute, we come back to the gallery and all kind of chill together. Yeah. So for those of you that are newer to this, here's what I was sort of thinking as Zivko was going through that is, let's say you don't have much of a freebie list yet, but you have a lead magnet, you have some kind of cool stuff that leads people into your world, and you have the intention of selling a course or something on the back end of that. It could be mid-ticket or high ticket, or maybe a whole funnel of stuff. One of the best things that I've seen newer sellers do is to create a low ticket offer and then go to somebody with a significant customer list already and offer them a irresistible pitch. Like, I'm going to give you 100% commission on my low ticket offer. If you mail it, I'm going to do a special deal for you and throw in bonuses, whatever. Like, you go to somebody that's already established an audience in the niche that you want to work in, right? And you make just an unbelievable, irresistible offer that not only makes them gets them paid, but gives huge value, makes them look awesome to their audience, right? So that's just the creativity piece of it. Each and every one of you could do this, come up with some kind of cool creative idea where you go and try to get in front of somebody and make them look great and make them some money, but you get their customers now. So yeah, you're paying 100% commission. Now you're getting their customers on your list, and now you can start building your funnel, your back-end funnel, making sales there. Well, the LinkedIn system that Zivko just showed you could be a great way to do that deal making, because otherwise you're trying to you're bothering them on Facebook Messenger, or you're hitting up their email, which is going to get filtered and go to their help desk, and it may never get through. Whereas if you approach it this way, and maybe let's say you're a customer of theirs as well, you don't have to go buy everything they do, but buy a couple of their things so you can approach them as a customer. That's just what's going through my mind. I wanted to throw that out as advice to folks here, because I know there's a lot of people that aren't necessarily doing the client work yet. That could help you start building your buyers list quickly, and not just a freebie list where you're giving away a lead magnet on an ad. This would be like super high impact, and you could do your 2, 3, 4 deals like that, where you're working with somebody with a big list that's in your niche. That could be like huge return on your investment. You could follow almost everything Zivko showed you to a T here, except replace the word client with deal, JV deal, right? Same idea. So I just wanted to throw that out there and see, Marie and Zivko or anyone else, if you wanted to comment further.
Yeah, I mean, I would say if you want to go with the JV's kind of approach, you can definitely reach out to them, and that can be like your target list that you build, and then like, look, I'm going to target like one to many kind of approach and see what you can work out, because this is what I am, this is what I do. You can definitely do that, because I've done something similar for like an agency. So they would be like a digital agency, and they will say, look, I would like to work with branding companies because I don't do that. So we're similar space, and then you can find collaborations, and then people find ways to work together and keep making money. And LinkedIn is a place where people are open to professional conversations. Facebook and Instagram is more for friends and family. People are not really open to those conversations. On Twitter, you can have all kinds of conversations, but on LinkedIn, it's very specific to like business conversations, and people are more open to that.
Yeah, you're kind of meeting them where they're already thinking about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
While we're chatting here too, I'm going to pop, or maybe Marie's already done it. My internet went down, so I don't know. I'm going to pop. Zivko's got a.
I can put it all. I have it.
Oh, okay, thanks. Yeah.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
So
here we go. We'll just keep putting all the links in.
There's lots of links there, but yeah, I do. We'll see how the recording goes, but I'll make sure that whatever parts where I dropped off, we clean those up and get them out. But great timing on my the internet to drop. Yeah.
So just as a quick, everybody that's on the call, take a look at the chat real quick. We will put these in the recording as well, but you can schedule a call with Zivko. I mean, have a chat with him, see if it's going to work out. Ask your questions there too. That's an offer that he's giving you. So huge, huge, huge value. Absolutely. The message sequence that he went through, that template's right there for you. Just make a copy of it, make it your own, set it out there. Absolutely amazing. And the prospecting tracking. These are all like my happy place. I don't know about you, but I love spreadsheets. I love tracking. I love the fact that you give us some templates. It's a great way to start. This is something that you can do today. Just so you guys know, go onto your LinkedIn account. Even if Sales Navigator, obviously we saw all the benefits of what that looks like, which is absolutely fantastic. But give it a try, do a couple searches, find some connections, and give this a try. You can do this before you get into Sales Navigator. Is that right, Zivko? You feel good with that?
Yeah, you can definitely do that. And I see Gail had a question.
Sure.
You have a year-old LinkedIn account, I would say keep it. The older, the better. That means it's an active account. If you delete it, start from scratch, you might get a verification process, but they'll say, well, look, this is a brand new profile, all of a sudden connecting and reaching out to people. In a verification process means they will take you down for 3 days, ask for an ID, and then you're back. It's just painful. But if you have a year-old account, just polish it, like change it up a little bit. But what I mean by that is put a good cover, make sure your info is up to date, and use it. I would encourage you to use an older LinkedIn account.
So what are the important things to update here? Because I know Justin and I were talking about this a little bit before we got started. We definitely can all probably take a look at our LinkedIn accounts and kind of clean it up a little bit. Do you have just some high level points? Like what do we need to go and update that might make some of our outreach a little bit more effective?
So a couple of things. First one, and this is like a pro tip, put a dot like that in front of your name with a space, and you will see every time someone is running an automation tool and sending you a message, it will pick up dot space your first name and say, hi, dot space first name. Saw what you're doing today, you know, okay, that's an automation. And someone told me this, a client, he's like, we're having these conversations because you send a message without all of that. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. And I started using that all the time now, and it really helps. Some automations can pick up emojis and stuff like that, but they are not intelligent enough to know that dot whatever it's not like a middle name or something.
Okay, hold on now. Like that is massive. Because does anybody else hate like spam messages? Like definitely hate spam. I don't like it when sometimes I put my middle initial in like email addresses, so then they message me and it's like Marie O, and I'm like, okay, you're just sending out a bunch of stuff. So I didn't know that. I'm kind of obsessed. I know you're going to show us other things, but so that's fantastic.
That one is very, very important. Here, just put in your position in the company they're working with. A lot of people would put, I help, I do this, I do that. And the moment a prospect sees that, they know, okay, I'm going to be sold within the next message. They will not connect, or they will just drop at that point. So you want to say, this is who I am, and this is where I work. And you can see I'm marketing expert, sales growth specialist, web designer. Stuff like that is very normal to do. But if you start putting in, I help entrepreneurs, I help small business with it, people feel like, okay, I'm going to be sold, and they will not do anything. Try to make it as a very light and original and organic profile. So you can see I don't have like a bluish background or something like that. It's me on a patio here in Toronto. Be original, something like that. And then of course the company logo. But don't make it too salesy. If you make it like billboards and feel salesy, people will have sales resistance and they will not continue. Most of the people will stop reading it here. Very few people will do this. Very, very few people will do this. Most people will look at this and they will go here, read who you are, what you do, and that's where it stops. This is a good place, featured. You can put what you want to be featured. You can. I have my quick video sales pitch, and I have Cole, who basically was losing his mind and stopped because he couldn't take it anymore from the prospects we were sending. And those are the features that I want people to see. So featured, put your 2-3 top things you want people to see, because I'm telling you, they just scroll and they kind of stop to here. Activities is not really good how they're displaying who you're posting and stuff like that. But when it comes to experience, just make sure your first and second one are up to date. Everything else, no one reads. No one, I've asked people, that people have asked me, like, what did they scroll through? Like, no one reads it. They just want to confirm that Zivko is the CEO of Dunmaker. That is Dunmaker. That's Dunmaker. That's okay. He is the same person. That's who messaged me. It's a real person. That's what you want to convey. This is a real person. It's not automation. It's not a salesperson. And that will definitely help you have a good experience on LinkedIn. All right. I'm going to stop sharing now.
That's super helpful. So clean up just a little bit, take the templates and go out there and ask people to connect. I think it's really great to just ask for that connection. That first message that you have, you're like, are you up for connecting? Like, is this something you would like to do? We're asking permission for people to continually send them messages. And I think that's just a respectful thing. I mean, people are busy, especially LinkedIn. These are professionals, and we're professionals. Like, you have your own business, and I think it's a fantastic space to be in. So thank you so much. Justin, did you see any other questions?
We missed one earlier from Savita when you were just finishing up there, Zivko. Is there a particular time that you do the CMs?
No, I just do the CMs early in the morning so that I can get back to replying to people. So I would do it like early in the morning, like say 7, be done like 20 messages. You can go through that very fast, like maybe like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Don't rifle through them way too fast. Don't do them always at the same time because then you become robotic. Space them out slightly. Don't do them exactly at 7 a.m. every morning, but I usually do them in the morning because I will do my connections and then I continue with who I need to reply and who I need to kind of connect with and stuff like that.
Yeah, the next one was from Haroon. Have you heard of Connected with a K? If so, what's the difference between that and Sales Navigator? Are you familiar with that one, Zivko?
No, but it might be like a service that is offering automation, maybe.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it. If anybody else has, hop in the chat. Maybe if anybody knows the connection there.
Right.
To me, Sales Navigator looks like the way to go. I mean, it's so dialed in, and it gets you the results that you probably are looking for. What's the best time to post blogs on LinkedIn or videos? Is there a better time?
There is no better time. I would say the more high quality videos, the better it is, and you will see people will put like thought leader kind of posts. And I mentioned this earlier when we're chatting on LinkedIn. If you don't have like video, of course, is like number one, but the second one will be authoritative posts, which are very long. They're like a blog in essence, and those are normal on LinkedIn because someone will sit there and read through what you're trying to say. And if you want to become topic matter expert, those are good ones to do. If you are like, I'm shy, I don't want to go in front of cameras, but you have very long posts, people read those on LinkedIn as opposed to, let's say, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. No one is going to read a long post. It's just a different kind of environment. But for in terms of specific hours, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's the quality of the content, and does it connect with the person who's watching. It goes back to your tips about networking and connecting with people in general. Sometimes, like, I don't do as much networking now as I did when I was first building my business, but I would just come out and tell people, nothing to sell, just want to connect. I thought you look cool, and people really like that approach. You just tell them up front, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I just want to get to know you because we all need a network. And they're like, oh, cool. Like, I usually got a good response to that. So stick to just being a normal person usually goes pretty well.
Yes.
I like the idea. I mean, we keep asking about specific times and stuff. I do think that doing it as opposed to not doing it is more important than what time you do, what time you post, what time you put your videos out. I don't know. And maybe just this kind of goes off into social media land, but maybe you guys know about this more. I feel like there was a thing where it was like posting at a certain time would get you better like reach. And that was several years ago in my mind. And now it's just like, put your content out there, be consistent with it. And the more consistency you have, the more the algorithms love to see you, and they'll pop you up at the top of all of the searches. So just kind of tapping into that a little bit more. Do you guys see something different, or is it just like consistency?
It definitely is a consistency, but with good quality stuff. It has to be good
quality too.
Yeah, it has to be good quality stuff. And I said, like on LinkedIn, the good thing is if you're camera shy and you go with those long form posts that are close to like close to a blog size, like 500 words, where you're spacing out every paragraph and everything, people will still read that, and you can still do that to build authority. And that's the end of that's the goal, right? You want to say, I know what I'm talking about. I definitely can help you. These are some of the stuff that I'm thinking. And when you're doing the outreach, person goes to your profile, looks at the stuff that you're doing, like, well, that's amazing. Now, LinkedIn is another amazing platform. No one else will show you who viewed your profile. So when you do your post and you do your outreach, then it will show you who viewed your profile. If someone viewed your profile once or twice, and you know your messaging sequence, then you can kind of switch it up a little bit. Sales Navigator, this is more advanced stuff. I didn't go into it today. It gives you the ability to see someone's email and phone number if they've provided it on Sales Navigator, and LinkedIn has said, yeah, that's okay. So if someone has that, you can send an email, say we're connected on LinkedIn. That and you can Google that one. You can see a lot of people use that. It has a great open rate if you put we're connected on LinkedIn and you really are connected on LinkedIn, and then you can just say, hey, look, we're connected on LinkedIn. I'm not there every day. I'm more on email. Are you open to switch the conversations on email, and see how that goes? Because you can definitely see who's opening and viewing your profile.
Yeah, I love that. I think the big things that I'm hearing here is like what Justin said, authenticity, consistency, quality, all of those things are who we are embodying here at Tools for Motivation too. And it's something that we know makes a really awesome business. And I think that's why you guys are here, is just to learn a little bit more about that. I'm going to pop in the chat one more time because we've got a lot of good conversations, just some people chatting. We'll come back to your questions. Do you want to do it first?
Well, no,
add in those links
yeah, there's a
again.
couple more questions. I also just want, I've said this before, I've shared it at least one other session, but I say it again because it makes, it's very relevant, is just a real life example at Tools to Motivation. When we were looking for, when we finally, this like 10 years ago, we were finally incorporating and like expanding the business and doing everything right, correctly, not just bootstrapping. We were looking around for accountants that could handle a digital business that planned to do, tons of transactions. And I didn't want to go to some old school firm that didn't have any idea what we were doing, didn't know what Stripe and PayPal was. And so I was searching for very specific keywords for these types of things, digital businesses, PayPal, Stripe, online transactions. And the same accounting firm came up several times, and it was their LinkedIn blog posts that actually ranked higher than their website, but both ranked on the first page. So I ended up hiring this firm, and they're still with them 10 years later and many thousands of dollars later, all because they did a great job of being present on LinkedIn, caught my attention. I just rolled with it because I was like, yeah, these guys clearly have what I need. So this stuff does work. I mean, you can get some high ticket clients if you do it correctly.
I love that. So we have a couple questions here, Zivko. We're just going to keep throwing them out you. Sorry, you're still here. So DV is asking a little bit about launching a coaching business while still working a full-time corporate job. So that seems like a lot. Have you seen anything where people who are still doing a full-time job, trying to start their business, they're bootstrapping it just like, Tools for Motivation did in the beginning? How does this system work for those people as well?
You can. It's just that you will not be the one doing the outreach. You can either hire a VA or someone like me, like an agency like what we do, and they just run it on the side. You tell them the parameters, you show everything. Let's assume for this case, because you're bootstrapping, let's assume you find a VA. You would basically tell them, look, I need you for like, this can be done like 2 hours. So I need you for 2 hours a day. This is what I need you to do. Here is the sheet of messages. You tweak them, you make them better. Make sure you follow everything, give them access to your LinkedIn, and they just basically run with the process. When a book call happens, you can give them Calendly or HubSpot or whatever you're using to book the calls. You give them that, and then the bookings just happen directly on your calendar. And once that happens, you go back to the conversations, see what was said. Usually it's a straightforward conversation because it's like, do you want to book a call? This is what I offer. Double check what they've said if it says something specific, and you can start taking those calls. You're not going to get massive numbers because you can start with 20 connections. And if an average connection rate is around 30%, you can see you're going to probably connect with like 7-8 people. So let's say at the end of the month, you have like 8 to 10 booked calls, 30 minutes. I think you can definitely handle that while keeping your corporate full-time job. So you would have someone else do it for you, allocate the money for that, and just hope that everything goes smoothly with no training or someone that has experience in that. And that's the way that I would do it.
Yeah, I love that. I know I've done training here for Tools for Motivation before. I don't know where it is, Justin, but we've talked about, bringing VAs into your business, using that consistently. It's intentional, but it's also something to, even though you're working your corporate job, is having your business still move without you being there. And systems, processes are absolutely fantastic, especially for this outreach. Usually those VAs are logging in as you. They are representing you. They're speaking as if they are you. So just make sure you're trusting that person as well and giving them good guidance. So on the VA training side of things, exponentially worth your time because somebody can be working while you are at your corporate job. So I think that's a great question. And something to get your business up and running without you having to be there, which is fantastic and wonderful. Did you see any other questions, Justin?
Yeah, Mark was asking for a suggestion for video software to record material for LinkedIn. I don't know, Zivko, do you have any comments there?
Yes, Loom. Loom is the best one. I've tried many of them. Loom is the best one. You can start with the free one because I bet you no one's going to watch more than 5 minutes of a stranger talking. So going with a 1 minute one, imagine your DM1 sequence. Instead of you sending a DM message, that can be a video, and you're doing it for everybody that accepts the connection. Therefore, you can't say like, oh, I'm going to shoot at like 20 videos a day. It's going to be a lot less, because you will connect with, let's say, 7 people, and then you can be like, okay, that's the person. Hit record 1-minute video. By the 10th one, you've practiced your speech so good that you can definitely do that in probably half an hour. And your DM1 now is a video, and then go to DM2 and 3 with message. You start with something personalized. I would use Loom definitely, and then switch it up like that.
The other thing I love about Loom is that your little picture goes in that, so you're making that connection already. And I know some people are camera shy. At the same time, you're asking somebody else to partner with your business. Justin and I have been working together for, I don't know, 5-6 years, however long, it doesn't matter. And every single time we get on a meeting, we are always on camera. And that's what keeps our connection going. And I love that. I do it with all of my clients. I'm on camera. I want to be on camera. I am a part of their business. And so I'm just going to go ahead and let you know, step out, put yourself in that little itty bitty corner, and be a part of your business, represent your business and who you are. And I think it makes a much deeper connection, and Loom is fantastic. So we put the link in the chat there for you guys. Yeah, the Loom extension is there. It is on Chrome. I don't know that it's on Edge there, Gail. I know I use Loom constantly. We have a paid account. My team uses it. We use it for SOPs. I'm sending Looms to Justin randomly, like, hey, this is what I'm seeing. So just know that Loom can be an asset inside of your business as much as it can be for your prospecting. Use it for your VA, show them what to do. Like, it's such a good tool. So thanks for asking about that a little bit more.
And just to add, before we go to the next one, when you do a Loom video for your prospects, if you open their website, because you can see where they work, if you open their website, share your whole screen, and you can show that you're on their website, and you can be like, looking at your services, this is what you do. You know what, this is exactly what I do. And they will see like, okay, that's not automated. That's a real person that is on my website scrolling up and down and telling me exactly what they found out and sending the video. That will make a big difference.
Yeah, I do that a ton. I love it. I'm going to pop the
amazing.
links in the chat again. And Justin, I'll let you take over a little bit while I get these links.
Sure. Yeah. So the next question was from Gail Zivko, saying, I'd like to see profiles or sites that match my new niche. Is there a fast, effective way to do that, to see what kinds of things are emphasized, et cetera? So I guess, in short, just kind of finding people in the similar space that you maybe intend to go and sell into.
Yes, and you would use LinkedIn Sales Navigator.
Same.
And you will start looking for, in Sales Navigator, you can search for leads and accounts, and accounts are companies. So if you want to find the companies, you can just switch from a lead search to an account search, and you can see companies, and you can start filtering by industries, and you will see the companies, the employees they have, and stuff like that. Or you can go same parameters, but now go with leads, and you can find people maybe in your geography, maybe in the same state, and go from there.
There you go. And a great comment here from Claire. I'll just read it out because it won't show up in the text won't be in the recording, saying, I have my page linked to my profile. My content calendar and posting schedule includes both, but I only focus on one business on a day, then the other business the next day, like alternating at the gym, legs and arms. It's a great tip there for, if you're trying to balance a bunch of different things, or maybe you're juggling a few different businesses that are starting up. I know that's the reality for some people, right? So that's a great way of doing it. Great tip there, Claire. Do all types of coaching businesses see success using LinkedIn, or mainly the business coaches? I'm not sure if anybody can answer that without us digging in further, but Zivko, do you want to comment?
I would say if you're aiming for people that are very hard to reach, you will have low success. What I mean by that is, there was one lady that wanted to have, she wanted me to help her connect with JP Morgan and Chase CEOs, C-level suites, VPs, and I said, I don't think anybody that doesn't know them personally will not be able to help you do that. Like, there's no way I can achieve that. So that's what I would say. If you're a business coach or a coach in general, and your target audience is just someone that is very difficult to reach, you will have difficulties there. Like, lawyers are very hard to reach. The one you will reach, they will definitely talk to you. Dentists, very hard to reach. Doctors, very hard to reach. depending on the persona, that's what I would say. If it's very hard to reach them, you will have struggling, your connection rate will be very low. So I would advise not to go for people that are very hard to reach.
Great.
I think Chad had a question that kind of
yeah, Chad, do you want to,
Chad,
do you have your mic here, Chad? Or I can just read it out too. He might.
Oh, he just, yeah,
hey,
he kind of answered it there.
Zivko read my mind. He always reads my mind here. Good job. Yeah. So if we're not going after CEOs, who do you recommend? Do we go after, like, if are we going after small business owners? Because you can filter by how many employees the company has, right? Is that one of your tactics of strategies to going in?
Right. I would say you can target a CEO, but depending on how big the company is, because it will just not be, the person might be there, they might not give you the time of the day. So for example, if you're gonna try to connect with a VP that is an RBC investment division, it's gonna be very difficult to reach that person. So what I would suggest is small to medium business owners, definitely. And if it's a larger company, then don't go after the CEO, but go for the better job title. So for example, one of my clients, Alberto, they have EV charger technology, but not the actual EV chargers. And he's talking specifically to engineers in companies because that's the person that will need it to implement it in their program. I have John also, who sells specialty glass for government projects and for all these buildings that need to have like really weird specialty glass. He talks specifically to the architect because the builder will never give him the time of the day. So that's how I will align my strategy. If the company's massive, then job title. But if it's small to medium business, you go directly for the decision maker, the CEO, founder, co-founder, because they're open to those conversations, and that will be the better person.
And they're also annotated on LinkedIn because people put, hey, what their job title is inside of that business. So you don't have to like do too much digging. You just go to the business and then you look to see who are the employees there and then go down the line. For me, I'm usually looking at, partnerships, and I'm looking at the people that are doing sales. So I'll go to the sales manager, I'll go to the partnership manager, or even like the HR people, and just say, who do I need to reach out to? If you can get somebody's attention, then you can always ask, who's the best person for me to talk to? I'm asking this question. I think people that are in customer service in general, they're going to be able to point you in the right way, and you're not going to, you're making the most of your time there and still getting inside of that business, which I think is huge as well. So Justin's posting in the chat too, all of our replays. So we've been doing these expert sessions all year. I don't know how many we're up to now, Justin. Every other week.
This is either 5 or 6 now.
I don't know. But those replays are there and they're there permanently. So go back, take a look at them. We are going to ask, give us a thumbs up. Make sure that you have liked the Tools for Motivation YouTube channel. The more reach we can get, the better it is. Are we up to 4,000 people yet, Justin? We were looking for that.
Yeah, we're across now. Yes. Thank you,
awesome.
everyone.
I love
About
it.
time. It's hard to get a channel that deals in such low-level marketing and content-based stuff. Like it's not cat videos, right? So I was thinking of adding a few PLR cat videos just to get the subscriber count up, but we kept it serious. So yeah, and I also this has been an amazing session. Obviously, lots of people are getting tons of value. I've got a lot of notes. I've got to get my LinkedIn game stepped up here. So thank you, Zivko. But I also did want to just take a moment to acknowledge you and thank you for doing such an awesome job showing up for us today. It's been amazing. Please, everybody, either give a thumbs up or do this into your camera or put a little reaction to let Zivko know you appreciate it. Zivko, do you want to comment at all about, I know you offered a free session there. Is there anything you want to mention about that? That we're on now that we're on the recording still?
Sure, yeah. Like if you want to have a call with me, there is the link. You can ask me anything you want. I can also kind of walk you through the process that we do in Dunmaker. Everything that I showed you today, we basically take care of all of that for you. So there is no learning curve. It just starts right off the bat. Like the fastest we can start your campaign is in 72 hours. And if you want, you can go to dunmaker.com, check us out. You can check out the package that we have. We're only focusing on prospecting and client acquisition. That's all that we do.
Excellent. Awesome stuff. Well, I think did we miss any questions? Before we hit at the end of the recording here, let me just scroll through and make sure. I think we did a pretty good job, Marie, between you and I.
we
covered
kind of
most
tag
them.
team it. I think we got everybody. Really appreciate you guys staying around and asking some awesome questions. I feel like the presentation is always amazing, and then we get deeper and deeper when those questions come up. So thank you, Zivko, for spending some time with us, answering those questions. I'm going to pop this in just one more time before anybody leaves, those links there, and make sure you grab a call with Zivko, because that's powerful. And answer, get your questions answered. Use this as a part of your business. It's really, really important to do that. Yay, people booking times. I love it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Justin, I didn't see any other questions. If you want,
I think, there was just one question about when the replay. We usually put it up the weekend after, so we typically host these on a Thursday. So you'll see them posted to the YouTube channel sometime on the weekend. And stay subscribed to our email list, because we'll send out at least one reminder about that. And you'll especially want to be on the email list. If you're watching this on the recording, this may not apply, but because this coming weekend we have a free offer going live. It's a $0 offer, so you want to make sure you get that. But that will also include a link to the YouTube channel. You can go over there, leave a like on the video, maybe say, hey, I was there live and Zivko was awesome. You can go help the channel, help the algorithm a little bit for us. That'd be awesome. Once again, Zivko, amazing job. Thank you so much. I hope everybody can walk away from today with some tangible, actionable stuff to do. And most importantly, I'd love for you to send feedback. Our VP of Sales, Trevor, is not here today, but he's always happy to hear from you. You can go to our help desk at Tools for Motivation and let us know, or go directly to Zivko and just let us know if you put this stuff into action and get a cool result. That'd be the best possible thing that any of us could hear, right? Zivko would love that. I know. He loves these kind of stories, because then it adds to his slide presentations and just more fuel to the fire for the future. So if you do get some good results and you want to credit Zivko, please do it, because that'd be amazing for everybody. So having said all of that, I'll just answer this on the recording. How do you sign up for the emails? You can just go to toolsmotivation.com, right on the homepage. You can subscribe there. And anyone else, please do leave your questions below on the comments of the video. Once the recording stops, for those of you that are here live, we'll stick around for another 5 or 10 minutes. Thanks again. We'll see you on the next one.